Welcome, entertaining flatware, to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike, and it was Agatha all along.
Yeah, apparently so. So, welcome to week 2 of our look back at the Disney animated remakes, the live-action remakes. Now, this one is genuinely a live-action remake. There is layers upon layers upon layers of CG in this, but it is primarily an all-human cast with various utensils and things all done in CG. And that is Beauty and the Beast. And do you want to start with what you like about this movie? I got thoughts on the other end, but I really want to start off on a positive note.
I like this movie.
Okay.
I don't love it. And comparing it to the animated one, hands down winner. I don't think either one of us is going to disagree with that one.
Oh yeah, no. And I'm coming from a point where I'm not even the biggest fan of the original. I see its merits. I think it's really, really great, and what it did in terms of allowing animation to be taken seriously is fantastic. There are moments in the animated movie that look a little, I don't want to say cheap, because I know it's not an easy process, but it looks like some of the animation, mainly dealing with Belle and Maurice, looks really Disney afternoon TV style animation. Like they workshop secondary scenes outside of outside of Culver City, or wherever they were doing it at the time. Go ahead. Sorry.
Now, I actually don't really agree about the animation, because I think it all looks fantastic, but I don't have your eye. But I mean, it's not of like the Disney Renaissance. It's not my favorite. It's probably my third, would say. But
I would probably say this. Where's the cutoff on the Renaissance?
I'm gonna go with Tarzan.
Tarzan. That might actually be fourth for me.
Okay.
Aladdin, Lion King, Hercules, and then this. I love Hercules, so it's,
I know you do. It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
But as far as the live action goes, there is a ridiculous amount of talent in this movie. I mean, off the charts, ridiculous. I mean, every single member of the main cast is a stellar, top-notch actor.
Right. Counterpoint: most of them left it at home.
I would disagree there.
Okay.
But I will say that this movie felt a lot like having a filet mignon topped with caviar. Both really, really, really rich, very complex tastes. Very, very hard to get to work together. This one, you got a lot of really, really amazing actors. They don't really mesh in the best way.
There is a decided lack of chemistry throughout this movie.
Yeah.
Before we get into these performances, I just actually have a genuine question for you, and that is, if you, based on your first viewing, which I believe was in the theater, right?
My first viewing was in theater.
Okay. And the viewing you did last night, higher, lower, in the same?
About the same.
Okay.
About the same. It didn't do anything to sway me one way or the other.
Okay. I mean, I saw it in the theater as well. Yeah. And it got to a point in this movie, it felt like a chore at a certain point. Like, I had to pause the movie to go to the bathroom. And I paused it, and I'm like, how is there an hour and 20 minutes left? How is there enough room before the end of this movie to fit the original animated movie in here?
Yeah. The original is about an hour and a half. This one's 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
It's damn near an hour longer.
It has a lot of excess fat to it. Yeah.
Okay. But getting back to the chemistry aspect of things, I feel like the only two actors that had genuine chemistry in this movie were Luke
I know which
Evans
one.
and Josh Gad.
Yeah.
Josh Gad is so at home in Disney movies. He's part of their ecosystem now, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love Josh Gad. I loved him since he started doing like correspondent work on The Daily Show, and then Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for all his successes.
What he brought to LeFou is like a jump and a leap past what they did with LeFou in the animated one. He made that such a three-dimensional, really wonderfully developed character.
Well, he's like the only character that I feel benefited from a longer runtime because it gave him more to do.
Yeah.
He was also the obvious choice. I mean, you think about when I first heard that they were doing this, it's like, oh, there's no shot that Josh Gad was going to be the LeFou in this. Luke Evans was a strange one for me, and I think he did a really good job. I mean, not to the point that I feel like wine moms would just go nutty over them like they do with the animated Gaston.
Yeah.
But there's always this thing in the back of my head that there may be a dozen other actors you could have recast, and maybe they would have been better, maybe not. I mean, just keeping it on the Evans name, Chris Evans would have probably made a fantastic Gaston.
I don't know how well his singing chops are, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Luke Evans had a fantastic.
You go with Orlando Bloom, who essentially looks like Luke Evans and has been confused as Luke Evans on several occasions. Yeah. I don't think Luke Evans did a bad job with this. Their number, Gaston, is easily the best of the reimagined songs from the movie.
I won't disagree with that.
It is. I mean, it doesn't touch the original because the original just has a lot of additional gags that you just couldn't do in the live action. The every last inch was covered in hair.
Yeah.
Is a great line. It is a fantastic line. It wouldn't work in the live action.
No.
But I am happy that they at least, gave I use antlers and all of my decorating as a stinger. They found a way to put it in there.
Yeah. Which
was great.
Yeah. And LeFou's struggling to spell Gaston. It's like, I just realized that I'm illiterate.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
But getting to the rest of the cast, Emma Watson is so hard to watch in this movie.
She is. I think we'll both agree she is the weak one of the.
She is the absolute weak link in this. It's almost like they didn't even want her to play Hermione. I would have been fine if they were like, just go to the Well of Tricks. And it's just, okay, yeah, she's pretty and she looks smart. That's great. She is by no means a singer. Oh my God. The auto-tune is so obvious.
It sounded like she was just speaking all of her lines. I didn't hear any singing coming out of her mouth.
And for the most part, she just looked bored throughout most of this movie. There isn't a lot of life behind her, and I genuinely think that Emma Watson's a good actress. I
agree.
I feel like this. Let's be honest. Did this kill her career?
I don't think so. I think she's. I think.
What is the last thing she did after this, besides Harry Potter reunions?
I know. I think she still has a lot of life because she's still very young.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's in her 30s, which is, yes, that's young. Younger than both of us.
She's still in her 20s.
No.
Really?
Because Daniel Radcliffe was 10 when they started filming the first Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That was 22 years ago. First movie was released in 2001. Yep. So think about that.
Thanks a lot.
Chew on that, won't you?
Thanks a lot.
Kevin Kline is wasted in this movie.
You see, what we had of Kevin Kline, I really enjoyed him in.
I feel like
it's Kevin Kline.
Well, I like Kevin Kline a lot. He usually, he brightens my day when I see him on screen. I just feel like in this they really downplayed it. Where again, it's an interchangeable part. They just wanted a name for it, and it wasn't even crazy old Maurice.
No.
That was a big swing. That was a big swing that he wasn't an inventor. It didn't.
I mean, he kind of was.
Well, he was doing like he's doing art installations essentially. I just felt, again, it's just one of those things where, with him, it almost felt like it's just okay. Here's the wig. Gotta throw a little extra gray in your beard. What accent? Just do what you normally do.
But I mean, it's Kevin Kline. You can never say no to having more Kevin Kline in your life.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I like Kevin Kline a lot. I just feel like he's I just feel like he's wasted in this movie because he's honestly just there for setup.
Well, I mean, so is Maurice.
So was Maurice, but they also didn't leave Maurice tied to a tree and left to die or be eaten by wolves in the animated movie.
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, I mean, they had to explain away the time gap somehow. Because in the animated one, there's a big old time gap that has no explanation.
Oh yeah. Well, and maybe that's one of the bigger flaws of this movie. I feel like their mission statement was just let's explain everything. I mean, we joke about this a lot. We joke about inconsistencies in movies. We look at these things and we oh, it's funny. What if they made a movie, a big scale movie that lasted an hour longer than the original that does nothing but answer all those questions?
It didn't bother me too much.
I don't know. I just felt like it was just there was nothing left to the imagination because everything had to have an explanation. If you could tell, I really I don't think highly of this movie. It's rough because a lot of the talent is there that they just kind of left on the Be Our Guest table.
Yeah.
And speaking of which,
yeah. That the Be Our Guest moment was kind of a slight epiphany for me. It was like there is really kind of no interaction between the CG characters and Belle in this scene, and that's where the most of the joy from the animated one was.
Yeah.
But I mean, they couldn't do that because of CG limitations. But unfortunately, that also kind of kills the scene.
Well, exactly, especially because it's supposed to be this big musical number. And if you go back and you just look at stills of the animated movie, it is this huge Busby Berkeley musical setup.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't translate when you're trying to do it with three-dimensional objects.
Yeah, and Emma Watson is just sitting there, like just watching everything happen. She's not really. She doesn't have any kind of expression, like any smile or "Wow, this is cool." It's like just
well, they're also not shoving dishes under her for her, just like yummy. They're not doing any. Again, it's that interaction, and
they give her one dish and then they take it away.
And that's the other thing with the song too. It just friggin' ends.
See that I didn't mind because once the song is over, there's nothing more in the scene anyway.
No, I'm saying the song just breaks on. I mean, you don't even really get like that because it just ends with a dessert. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say something which might be sacrilege to some people who are viewing this. I don't think highly of Ewan McGregor as a singer. I like Ewan McGregor a lot. I think he's a fantastic actor. Moulin Rouge. This. I saw him on the London stage in Guys and Dolls. He is a really skilled amateur singer. He should not be considered a professional singer. It's very thin, it's just there's something about his voice. I'm like, why do people keep asking him to sing? I mean,
this is where I disagree with you because I freaking love Moulin Rouge. I think he has a fantastic voice. I really enjoy his singing. And I mean, for his singing in this song, I think is fine. It's just the problem is the scene is just dead.
The scene is disjointed. The other thing too, getting to the house servants, that is just pure unadulterated nightmare fuel. I mean, and I think out of the three main characters in that case, Cogsworth is the best animated, even though he's got those dead shark eyes. I just feel like the way that they made his mouth kind of move within the mechanisms, that was actually pretty cool. Mrs. Potts and Lumiere are just terrifying to look at.
What about
They're
Chip?
absolutely. What's that?
What about Chip?
Chip as well. Well, Chip is part of that because it's just, here is my face, my moving face, flat. I mean,
It didn't bother me.
Oh, I was bothered by it when I first saw the concept art. I'm like, there's no way this doesn't end in fire.
The concept art did throw me off. Seeing it in action didn't bother me too much.
I just felt like I wasn't meant to be looking at animated houseware.
Yeah.
It was and it's that same kind of thing because there's the limitations to the animation where I'm hearing the voice in one ear and not connecting the actor to the character. This is a big, honestly, this is the big issue I have with a lot of the remakes. It's just that outside of Jungle Book, which I feel like they gave those characters a soul, everything else is just kind of like, hey, we animated this. I can make his mouth move with yours. How's that sound? Can you do that?
Yeah, that was always going to be the big problem, is the fact that half of the cast is entirely CG, and it's a very, very fine line to walk. Jungle Book did it well. This one, not as much.
It was really difficult to do, and you're dealing with extended periods of time with this.
Yeah,
because that 2 hours and 20 minutes ain't gonna write itself.
Yeah.
The length of this movie really, really hurt me.
Yeah.
All right, we're leaving out a character here. Dan Stevens as Beast.
The Beast.
I don't know if I will ever form an opinion, good or bad, about him.
I see. I mean, I think Dan Stevens is a fantastic actor, and
I love Dan Stevens.
I thought he was actually a really, really good member of this cast. The biggest issue was that, he and Emma Watson had zero chemistry.
Zero chemistry. The other issue too is that the only other characters he's talking to don't exist in this plane of existence.
Yeah.
There's just like, I feel like it was probably the best choice that they had. And I posted that GIF because all I kept seeing every time he was singing that really kind of lousy Oscar bait song, all I could think of was him in Eurovision songwriting contest where he's the Russian entrant and he's singing this song called Lions of Love, and it's just like, this is the Beast I want him to be, sexy and Euro trashy and all that, like him, like his character in Eurovision. There's just something about him, and a lot of it I think has to do with the fact that there is some heavy CG on there that looks coated on, and I know they tried the practical makeup effects and they didn't work as well. Some people actually said it looked better, but a lot of it he almost didn't look scary enough.
I guess I can kind of see that. I mean, Dan Stevens is just a ridiculously talented actor.
Yeah.
Have you seen Legion?
Yes, I've seen a few episodes. I've been meaning to go back to it.
Yeah, I watched all the way through the first season. He is just so ridiculously good.
He is fantastic. I've really enjoyed him since Downton Abbey. He is really, really good.
I know he's a big Broadway person as well.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Definitely he's done the London stage. Just every British actor has done the London stage. But you know what? Honestly, you know who I feel really was wasted in this movie?
Oh.
Audra McDonald.
Oh, as yeah, okay.
She was the she was
The
essentially
wardrobe.
she the wardrobe. Yeah, Audra McDonald is easily one of the best singers living today. They gave her some stuff to do, but it was always like interrupted either by Agatha all along,
Yeah.
or Emma Thompson, and it's just like you've got one of the best. It's like I wish they could do something better with her because she is a phenomenal singer, and you gave her like these little bits.
Yeah.
They could have given her the entire song. Emma Thompson didn't need to sing that rewritten verse. It could have just left it with her, and I would have been happy with that version of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the original version and Celine Dion, that's oh my god, what was going on
Oh,
with that song at
is
the
that
end
who it
credits?
was? Yeah,
That was
I
Celine
started
Dion.
hearing, I started listening to it, and I just stopped it. It was like, I don't care.
With 30 years added to her voice, it didn't sound good at all. It was
Well,
really.
yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't like a single one of the newer songs. I know they were written by Alan Menken, and I just kind of feel like this is the kind of thing where maybe you part of the charm of the original Beauty and the Beast was Howard Ashman's lyrics. It really is the songs were character in and of themselves. So I kind of feel like that should have been the line that they drew where all I'm going to do is the stuff that as I'm speaking as Alan Menken here, all the stuff I'm going to do is the stuff I did with Howard. Maybe there was a song they could have pulled out. They could have brought Human Again back into this, which they didn't do.
But they kind of did a weird version.
Yeah,
They did some weird song there.
it's not nearly as bad as the version of Be Prepared by Chiwetel Ejiofor in The Lion King, which, by the way, is a crime against humanity.
They did bring Tim Rice in to help Menken for this one, I think.
Tim Rice, did they?
I think I saw his name in the credits.
It's just.
I will say the Evermore by Dan Stevens, the Beast song.
Okay. That was the Oscar bait song I was talking about earlier.
I know, and that one I actually like. The weird song that they keep referencing back for Belle and Maurice.
Oh yeah,
the
one about the dead mother who died during the plague.
Yeah, they reference it like 3 or 4 times in the movie, and it's not my favorite at all. It's there.
That whole bringing her back to Paris scene was like, this doesn't advance the plot at all. Well, this does nothing. This is 20 minutes of my life I want back.
It gives her the rose thing.
Oh,
that they used to at the end.
Because there was no other way to implement that rose somewhere else.
I you know what I will say, after when they get to like something there, that's when I kind of was able to like, you know what, let's push this all the faults with this movie aside. That's when like the story itself, which is the story has always been a very solid story. That's when the story kind of caught me a little bit more, and it helped me enjoy the latter half of the movie.
Okay.
I mean, the issues are still all there, but I was able to push them back a little bit and just kind of immerse myself in the story a little bit more because, like, just especially Dan Stevens and like his kind of unbeastening sort of his way, the way he like kind of let his humanity start to come out a little bit more. That's when I really kind of clicked in because again, Dan Stevens is just ridiculously talented.
Yeah. I did enjoy the castle siege, which is always a fun thing, even with the animated. I like they gave a decent explanation for why LeFou would betray Gaston.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense, and I know that's the character. I think he's getting his own, like Gaston's getting his own Disney Plus.
I'd heard that,
series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how far they want to go with that, but it's again, it's because he's the best part of this movie. I feel like go for it. I mean, you know you've got him on speed dial, and he will it's like, Tim Burton calling Danny DeVito. It's like, hey, I'm doing a movie. Danny DeVito just grabs his giant top hat. All right, I'm ready to go.
Tell me where I need to bring my hat.
Yeah.
I one thing that it annoyed me a little bit on the first my first watch through, and it still annoyed me a little bit on this one, is the fact that after the last pedal fell and like all the servers turned back into human and turned into normal thing, then Agatha came along and undid the curse. I'm like, you kind of broke your own rule there a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like by the time the last pedal falls, that last pedal falls, and the curse locks in, and then you somehow unlock it.
Just kidding.
And
JK, LOL.
the whole like all the servants, the whole montage of seeing all the servants turn into regular objects, and then unturning back. I get it. I know what's happening. You don't need to show every single character.
Well, the weird thing was too, a lot of that was like pans and cutaways.
Yeah.
Which,
it's like we know what's happening. Just show them all in a group photo, group shot.
Yeah.
Have them like Adam and Belle, and just go with that. You didn't need to have like 15 minutes of, oh, I'm a normal item now. Oh, now I'm a human again.
Yep.
But
it's
whatever.
It's a tough one. Again, I just feel like this is kind of the Disney sacred cow in terms of, there are a few of these that should not have been remade. This is one of them. I'm kind of feeling that way about White, which is upcoming. I don't know how much of a train wreck Little Mermaid's going to be. I've heard good things about Cinderella, but
yeah, I that's one that I do kind of want to just check out on my own sometime, because I think it's actually really enjoyable.
But
I know you're for me, this, if you go like 49%, 51%, I'd put this one at like 60. It's
okay.
It's not great, but I'm not offended at having watched it.
Okay. And I'm not either. I feel like, visually, at least, in terms of the art direction, costumes, those are great. Those look wonderful.
Yeah.
I just feel that it's that coulda, not shoulda attitude that they took in making this.
The set design is top notch as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, I agree. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might have won an Oscar for best costumes. I'm not 100% sure if it won it or not, but
and I like how like
to go back and look. Oh, fine, I'll do it. What?
I like how like the whole like the castle and the surrounding grounds are all like locked in like constant winter.
Yeah.
Doing like the curse, and but yeah, it's not an awful movie. It's just there are a lot of missed opportunities, especially with a cast this friggin' talented.
Right.
There are a lot of opportunities that could have been taken and worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Biggest opportunity, quite honestly, was, is this really a good idea?
I think if you just kind of say that it's a given they're going to make this movie, you've got to find the right pieces, and I think Emma Watson was not the right piece for this.
Right. They legitimately hired her due to a role she did as a child. It's really what it comes down to, because it was 6 years in between the last Harry Potter movie and this. Again,
I think she's ridiculously talented. This is not the role for her. She doesn't have the singing chops, and for Belle, you really need a singer. You need a singer first, actor second.
Well, there's also that, the whole thing about Belle, the way that the animators did Belle, and I'm pulling up her IMDb right now. The way that they did with Belle was she always had that strand of hair that was always like she was brushing it away. The animator said that they did that because they didn't want Belle to be perfect, because without that she's perfect. And
Yeah.
I don't. I'm pulling up her filmography right now. Last movie she did was Little Women in 2019,
which was filmed in Harvard.
Yeah, she was Meg, so she was actually one of the Circle with Tom Hanks. Yep, and then so she hasn't done much of anything in the last 3-4 years. So, yeah, well,
I think she's still got plenty of time to do a lot more.
right, exactly. It's only a matter of time before she finds that really good traumatic role that's going to hit. But this, I think, did a number on her career, and not in a good way. This could have been a star-making performance, like a superstar making performance for her, and it didn't work. I mean, you think now Dan Stevens is doing comedies right now. He's kind of moved on from this, and I mean, Ewan McGregor and Emma Thompson, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to double check. They are both in upcoming movies that we're discussing this month. The jury is still out on the Ewan McGregor one, but I'm fairly certain that Emma Thompson is in the other one.
I think so.
I want to say so. God help me if I confused her with Olivia Colman again.
I haven't. I have the next movie I haven't seen, so I can't really say if she's in it or not.
I haven't seen either of them. If we are in that,
right.
if we're in that mode, because I did put a poll on Twitter, folks.
Yes.
If you're watching this live, go to Geek Salad Radio on Twitter and answer our poll. Because thanks to Maleficent being removed from Disney Plus, we got 4 movies that you can choose from: Lion King 2019, Lady and the Tramp, Mulan, or Christopher Robin. We're really interested. If you right now, as of 9:02 Eastern Standard Time, Christopher Robin is in the lead.
Fascinating.
Very fascinating.
Yes.
General Kenobi. So, anyway, I don't think I have anything else I need to say about Beauty and the Beast.
You know what? I will say one more thing.
Yes.
I honestly, I place a lot of the blame on the director, Bill Condon.
Bill Condon likes them big and flashy.
I think wasn't he fresh off his directing all of the Twilight movies?
He didn't direct all of them.
I thought he directed most of them.
He directed a good amount of them. He also directed. Okay, no, he did Twilight after he did Dreamgirl. So,
and if you want 2 characters that have even less chemistry than Emma Watson and Dan
Stevens,
go to Twilight.
Yeah, no, Bill Condon is a really good writer. If you have not seen Gods and Monsters, his Oscar-winning script is fantastic. He's an excellent writer. And I'm with you. I don't think much of him as a director, but anyway, all right. Well, I think we're just gonna pull the last pedal off of this manually. There, you're beast. Then you're all frozen in time.
Wait. Sorry, there's Agatha.
Yeah,
it was Agatha all along.
All along. So anyway, folks, thanks for joining us. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Give us big like. We do this all the time. Tons of playlists. So definitely look us up here. You can also follow up. We also host a podcast. I left that off last week, I realized. Wow. Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, you name it, we're there.
We've been taking a few weeks off because of him.
There's something rotten. Bum, bum. There's something rotten. Bum, bum. You can feel it. You can smell it. Something rotten.
Okay, that's
all right. And so anyway, we've got social media, so you can follow us on our social media on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio and on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. And definitely check out this Share it with your friends too if you like what we are bringing to your table, including the gray stuff like that. And I'd love, bless you, and I'd love to know, what are your thoughts on Beauty and the Beast 2017? Leave a polite comment below. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you later.
And the